Hey, remember when we were in St. Andrews and we eat?
Oh,
And you had the craft dinner? Or the macaroni and cheese, I guess?
yeah.
Did you like it?
It was really yummy. I forgot that I wanted them.
Yeah, should people go there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe Riley should go there.
Yeah, maybe. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey YouTube and Reddit, so today we're going to be doing a review for Water Street Diner. And we got Serenity here today to help us. She's going to be playing while we're doing the video. So Water Street Diner is located at 160 Water Street in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. It's considered a seafood diner pub. So yeah, let's go jump into it, right? Yeah. For accessibility, I gave them a 2.5 out of 5. They had inside and outside seating, which is great. I don't know if you can do smoking on the deck, but I'm assuming you can do drinking outside on the deck. Now, they're located in the central area of shopping in St. Andrews. The floor inside also is all on one level. There are stairs to get up to the restaurant though, so like when you coming from the sidewalk to go up, there's stairs, so that could be a hindrance to people with a disability that would be on a wheelchair. And there's no parking for the location. I don't think there's parking for anywheres on Water Street in St. Andrews, to be honest. People just park all along the roads like crazy, and a lot of space is taken up. But a lot of the side roads nearby are free up for you to park on and then walk down. It's about a minute walk, so it's not too bad. And inside the restaurant, there's a variety of seating types. None I would think are very good for people with disabilities, but there are a few options if you prefer a taller chair over a shorter chair. Atmosphere I gave a 2 out of 5. Now, they had inside and outside seating, which can add to the atmosphere depending on what you're kind of going for. And inside, it kind of reminded me of my childhood a little bit. They had a lot of older, like, toys and items hung up or whatever and on shelves. These older items are probably a little bit older than me, but I do remember seeing quite a few of them in my younger days. That being said, it was really cramped, like very cramped to an uncomfortable level. And I found that really took away from my experience for the major part, and it was very loud. So often me and Nisi were talking loudly at each other to understand each other. For cleanliness, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I don't really have a lot to add other than for how busy it was relatively in good condition, and I think there's something good to say about that. For staff and employees, I gave it a 1.5 out of 5, and this is the lowest score in all the categories. And I understand this is probably greatly due to the fact they were very busy, but it still needs to be mentioned because I feel like it'd be dishonest for me not to mention all the bad experiences I had revolving around staff and employees. Now, the lady that was taking our order was rushed and came off as very rude. We asked a few questions in regard to the food we were ordering, and she seemed very displeased that we had questions to ask about it, and she just wanted us to take the order and to leave. And it was definitely one of the most unpleasant experiences of the whole stay. On 2 separate occasions, I heard the employees complaining about their customers, and it made me feel uncomfortable because it made me wonder if they were complaining about me and my family as well. And it just kind of brings a damper to the whole experience when you know the employees aren't having a good experience. On a funny note, at one point an employee slammed the fridge door, or the cooler door, and was complaining that they were out of Pepsi. And I was like, yeah, out of Pepsi, that sucks. If anyone doesn't know, I really love Pepsi. That being said, I ordered Pepsi prior to that scene and after that scene and received Pepsi. Not sure what they were complaining about, but I just wanted to mention, I guess, or reiterate on the fact that I was observing repeated behavior from the employees of discomfort or discontent. Near the end of our experience, my wife said we were ready to pay, and we wanted the bill. And the employee said that they were busy and they'd be by shortly with the bill in the machine so we could pay. And that was great. But my wife was going to ask for a takeout container. In fact, she was in the middle of asking for it when the lady just walked away. She must not have heard, but she was too busy and in a rush, so it was kind of annoying. Now, and to add to this, we waited almost 15 minutes, just shy of 15 minutes, to get that bill, and it never came. I stood up to go ask, and there had been a little bit of a line that developed because so many people were waiting to pay and leave, because generally, when you're ready to pay and leave, you just want to pay and then leave, not wait around. They had clearly forgotten about us, and that didn't feel good. I don't know if this is really a complaint for employee, but it was something that stood out about the employees. At one point, apparently a bug had gotten in the building, and it was near one of the employees' feet, and she jumped and screamed, and like kind of did a little dance, and it just seemed odd. Like, it wasn't just a little jump and scream, it was pretty loud, and it kind of like took the whole building. Everyone was kind of like eyes on her. So interruption of the meal. Now, because I said so many bad things, I want to highlight the one good thing in the employee section, and that's there was this one nice lady that was helping other customers. She seemed really sweet whenever I heard her talk, and nice, and she always had a smile, as well as she did stop by on one occasion to ask us how our meal was, and that made the experience slightly better. And yeah. Now, for options, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Its menu had a vast array of different things you could buy in different categories of foods. I was under the perception it was a seafood type pub, but no, it had mac and cheese, it had burgers, it had sandwiches, it had wraps, different types of alcoholic drinks, as well as Pepsi and other smooth drinks. And there was honestly quite a bit to choose from, so that actually was a great experience, because I was sitting there thinking like, geez, what do I want to eat? There's so many good options here. So I do have to highlight that was a strong point for them. Wait time, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was approximately 35 minutes for the wait for the appetizers, which I did feel was a little long for an appetizer. Like, I'd expect that generally within like 10 minutes, typically at a restaurant. But the meal was only 42 minutes. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, at a restaurant, I generally consider within an hour it's good. I would prefer it under a half hour, but you know, it was very busy there. For presentation, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Nothing really stuck out to me in a positive or a negative way. Now I'm going to show some pictures so you'll be able to see what it looks like. For portion size of the food, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I really don't have anything to comment here other than it seemed adequate, not a lot extra, not underdone either. For taste, I gave it a 2 out of 5. It didn't taste the greatest, and I'm not sure if it was because maybe it was rushed, but it was definitely still palatable. Like, I didn't mind eating it. That being said, I did try my daughter's macaroni and cheese, and I did find it tasted dried out, or like it was old, like, you know, the top had sat maybe a little bit. For cost, it was a 3.5 out of 5. And now I'm going to list the menu and the prices right here. Now, it was cheaper than we expected, but I wouldn't be going to go beyond saying that. I won't go and say it's a cheap place to eat, but it's definitely not expensive. For other, I gave them a 2.5 out of 5. Now, they had this little chest full of kids' toys, and they were cheap, but kids like stuff like that, and that does add to the experience. It was a positive thing. Now, I noticed this other fellow waiting to pay, and this was much before we were waiting to pay, and he asked to pay, and they said the debit machine was outside, and he was going to have to wait. Now, the debit machine eventually came back in, I noticed, and nobody notified him. Eventually he came back up and asked, he's like, I've been waiting to pay, and if you're not willing to take my order, I'm just going to leave. And then they said, oh, well, the debit machine's been up here. And then they took his order and left. So I was like, yeah, another instance of forgetting to take someone's money. Like, Who knows? People could have walked out of there and not paid, and they wouldn't have known the difference. So the final category is other people's reviews. And it ended up being rounded down to a 3. It was a 3.3 from all the stuff I compiled, but let's break it down. So from TripAdvisor, it's a 2.4 out of 5. From Facebook, it's a 4.5 out of 5. From Google, it's a 4.4 out of 5. From my wife, it's a 2. And like I said, those all added together would be a 3.3 out of 5. And I just rounded down to 3. Because I only work in half, so it'd be like 3, 3.5, or 4. Since it's 3.3, got to go to 3. Now, I will be posting other people's comments at the very end of this video from all these different groups. And you'll get to see, try to do a wide variety. So you'll notice some from 1 star, some to 5 stars, or whatever, and everything in between. It is weird that TripAdvisor is so much lower than Facebook and Google. Like, Facebook and Google is all, basically 4.5. And then you have TripAdvisor, which is 2.2. So, yeah. So in closing, they got a 32 out of 55, which equals a 58%. Now, I don't think I'll be going there in the future if I travel to St. Andrews. I'll probably check out somewhere else for the sake of a review and just because. Do I think you should check this place out? Certainly, it has a vast variety of things. So if you have people that like different types of foods, it seems like an alright location. Like if you have 8 people I can't decide what they want, maybe this is an area you should go. Parking's pretty bad, but if you're a tourist, I don't see why you shouldn't check it out. It's right beside the river. And maybe they'll improve some of these things. And if I get a comment back about them, I'll do a video letting you guys know. I'm not likely to do a giveaway for this video as I'm not in St. Andrews, so I won't be buying a ticket from there. I live in Fredericton. So yeah, have a good one, guys.